What's up, everybody? How you feeling? How you doing? How you be? DKim2 here. I'm committed. I'm committed to doing a video every single week about adult family homes. So many people have asked me to just a lot of great questions over the years, and I know what it's like to want to get into this field and to be in the field and want to be successful. So it's something I feel like I can help out with, and I just have to commit to it because I know it's real for a lot of people, and it's a way out. It really is. I mean, if you have the kind of drive and the means to make it happen, this is one of those paths you can take that you can definitely become an entrepreneur and make an income that's life-changing. That's just the truth. And build something for yourself, your kids, your grandkids. I mean, if you want to build it with care, this opportunity is absolutely legit. Somebody asked the question, is it a good idea? Is it doable in 2023 to own an adult family home? Yes, but it depends on the kind of home you want to open. There's a lot of different types of things you can do. I'm not going to get into all of them. I'm just going to stick with adult family homes right now. You can definitely get licensed by the state. They'll do that all day, every day. But don't get it twisted. That doesn't mean that you'll actually be able to contract with the MCO and get residents. Now, you can always get licensed by the state and do private pay, which means you kind of shop yourself around yourself, and people actually do have the money to afford to be able to stay there. You know, private pays are a lot harder to find, but they are out there, especially if you put like flyers and stuff like that inside of hospitals and things like that. Just really putting yourself out there. And at the end of the day, you could get placements that way. I've got people who reach out to me for private pay. I know friends of mine who have private pay clients, and people still call me about private pay clients. So that is an opportunity if you want to just not worry about the MCO, the kind of home you have to have and all that kind of stuff. Get your home state licensed and start selling yourself. That'll probably take you about 6 to 8 months maybe to get licensed by the state, and it's pretty simple. You'll need some help probably with some of the reporting side of things, and that's something we can talk about. One thing in particular I'll maybe talk about is a fiscal report. But as of right now, you're in good hands trying to go about things that way with the state. Now, once the state comes out, you have to try to get contract with the MCO. A lot of MCOs are not contracting right now in the Milwaukee area, if that's where you're from. Now, you have to find out like what state, what it's looking like for your state, and that's very simple. Find out who the management care organization is in your area. Around here, we have some called Community Care, My Choice Family Care, My Choice Wisconsin, Iris. There's definitely a few others, and it's smart to contract with more than one. If you have a home right now, contract with more MCOs. There's smaller entity MCOs out there that are actually contracted with people. I've done that. I have a smaller contract with some MCOs people have never even heard about, who are somehow connected as sister companies. So once you get your name out there, other people will call you. You want to have a house that's in a decent neighborhood, if possible. You want to have a house that's in a nicer area, suburban areas, if possible. I know that's not easy, but if possible. You can have a home in the hood. If you can provide what they need, they will contract with you. The problem with some of that is that you have to be very patient when it comes to like getting residents. So it behooves you to almost stay at that house, or maybe rent it out until the day comes for you to get a resident, even if you have somebody rented out just month to month, just to help you with the cost of things, so it's not just sitting empty. Because even once you do get one resident, it might be a while before you get the second one or third one. So if you're creating a non-ambulatory home, make sure it has a ramp in the front and in the back. that might cost you a couple $1,000s. The ramp has to go from the sidewalk all the way to the base of the steps, basically, so they don't have to take a step up, if that makes sense. And the other big modification you'll probably have to do is like put grab bars in the bathrooms. All this stuff is on DH88, but I'm just kind of like, the major modifications you'll have to do is those. Another major modification you'll have to make is the door frames. Don't go too crazy with the door frames in the bedrooms, because likely, as long as a wheelchair can make it in and out of there, the state person that comes out, and definitely not the MCO, doesn't really use a ruler to measure the whole thing out. If they can, so don't take me and say like, oh no, he said that they would let this pass. Like, no, it does have regulations to it. So if you wanna go according to the regulations, then do that. But if you're not sure about the money side of things and trying to, you know, really watch your pennies, then the only door frame you need to make sure you really pay attention to is the bathroom door, because that frame door sometimes seems to be a little bit smaller and not be able to get a wheelchair into. So be aware of that. Otherwise, try to keep your costs down. Some of the MCOs will say like, hey, you have to have a Hoyer lift. Again, if that's what they're requiring, go get a Hoyer lift, but get a rinky-dinky one. Get a, you know, you just need to have one. It doesn't have to be a good one, an expensive one. You can even rent one for the inspection, because we bought Hoyer lifts and stuff like that, and we've never really... Sorry about that, hit the button on the accident. But like I said, we bought Hoyer lifts and never really used them. So try to save your money where you can. Then, you know, just you really have to blow the MCO up. If you have a state licensed home and you're like, man, I need to get some residents, how can I make this happen? Now, I'll kind of go into what I did to make that happen in another video, but I did just want to explain to everybody that 2023 will be a good year for starting a home. There'll always be a need, in my opinion, for homes, because they want people back in the communities. As nursing homes close down or get overpopulated, as behavioral health complexes get closed down, as you know, as people and parents realize they're having just a tough time managing their kids, their parents, their grandkids, you know, it's like people are looking for ways to get help and use resources, and they're out there. And this is a great means, and it's becoming a very, very popular thing. And a lot of people are being successful with it. Some people aren't, because it is a lot. It is a lot of work. And people think that's sweet. Like, oh yeah, I can do this because I got a property. Like, it takes a lot more than just that. Believe that, please. Just know that definitely the opportunity is here if you want to go get it. I always want to end my videos one of two ways. I want everybody to realize that a big part of business is the way you talk and interact with the residents and the staff. So we all had tough days at work. We all had our, where we feel like we're just not doing a good job or having just a lot of things going wrong. Well, what will really boost them is their boss, the owner, a supervisor, whoever, telling them like, you're doing a great job, keep it up, and being specific about what it is they're doing, you know. So the way they care for a resident, the way they clean the home, be specific, and let them know like you really appreciate having them on staff. That keeps people going, and they appreciate it. It means a lot to them, especially on bad days. I'll also try to tell a story, or you know, just something that shows a struggle that is behind the business. It's a lot to choose from. This weekend, we just had staffing issues. That's gonna be a major issue all the time, staffing. Like this weekend, we had two people at two different locations who had family emergencies. They had to go. They had to leave. But you can't let the people just leave without finding more coverage, because you know that's a breach of your contract with the MCO. So you gotta have employees there. You gotta have somebody watching the residents. So you gotta make what had to happen. Family emergencies, call-ins, car accidents, bad weather. I had to go into work. I had to put my scrubs on, go in there, and just take care of the residents as best I could until we can get more staff to come help with coverage. So we're ready and willing to do that all day long because that's going to be a big part of what we do. All right.